Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is the start of a new month. I cannot believe that February is over. It seems to have whizzed by, but I'm going to bring you my February reads and also what I plan to read in March. So stick around and you'll come on my reading journey with me. If you've not been here before, my name is Tracy Mayhew and I write contemporary romances set here in the UK and YA fantasy fiction. Every month I do this video and it's one of my favourite videos to make, if I'm completely honest. And if you've been around here before and you've seen plenty of these videos, you know I say this every time. I'm not lying, I genuinely love these videos. I genuinely love talking about books. So without further ado, let's get a wriggle on and get down to it. So last month I set out to read The Dose Effect, The Maiden of Artemis and The Dreamweavers. I'm going to start with The Dreamweavers because that was a DNF for me last month. I'm not sure why. There were parts where I really enjoyed it and I really enjoyed the way that the author wrote the book. But there were other parts where I just felt like there was a lot of info being dumped on me and it kind of jarred me out of the story a little bit when that happened. So it's a DNF for now. I should amend that too, because I do intend to go back to it. I was writing Bella Notte at the time, and I think perhaps maybe that was quite a dense book, and with all the info that was being given to me within the pages of that book, I just couldn't, I don't think my brain could deal with it. So I do intend to go back to it. I did enjoy the kind of supernatural elements that were sort of set up within the first few chapters. I also enjoyed the kind of juxtaposition of the main character, B, and her belief in the supernatural and the metaphysical, but her husband was a vicar. So it was kind of like you had that kind of conflict within that marriage as well. And I would love to have seen how that developed throughout the story. So I do intend to go back to it. So it's a DNF for now. The Maiden of Artemis I really enjoyed that book. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I won't talk about it here in this video because I intend to make a whole video dedicated to that for the Indie Author Book Club, which will be coming sometime in March. I'm just not sure when yet because I've got a lot on. It's just trying to find that time to sit down and film that book. I've written the review, I've written out points that I really enjoyed, so it's just a matter of me sitting down now and filming it. So hopefully you won't have too long to wait for that. Sorry, Sue's here today for a little cameo. And lastly, for February, I read The Dose Effect, and I really enjoyed that book. It was really, the way it's written, let's see if I can, the artwork in it was just really nice, really cool. It made me think about certain things like my phone usage and things like that, and actually that feeds into one of the books I intend to kind of read this month as well. So there was a lot of advice on how to increase your dopamine, your oxytocin, your endorphins and your serotonin levels. And I'm trying to work that into my daily life now. So early morning walks when I can, when the weather's not too bad, and things like that. So yeah, it's a very interesting way of looking at life. So yeah, I enjoyed that book and I would recommend that book. I will leave all the links to the books that I mentioned today down below. So you can go and pick up any of those links. They're not affiliate links, they're just me recommending some books that I enjoyed. So because I didn't read The Dreamweavers, I actually brought forward one of my intended March reads, and I ended up reading The Steel Beneath the Silk by Patricia Bracewell. This was the last book in the Emma of Normandy series, and if you've been here since last year, you will know that I found this book through the Rock Paper Swords podcast, or this series, sorry, through the Rock Paper Swords podcast, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I will be buying I've borrowed all these books from the library, but I do intend to buy them for the Kindle because they're just so awesome. It's just there's such good characters in it, such good storylines. Yeah, I just loved it. And it's part of history that I never really knew about, even from my own country, and it's full of Vikings as well, so that was an added bonus. So yeah, I do intend to buy that, and I do highly recommend this series. So if you've not read it and you're into historical fiction or Vikings, I highly recommend picking up this book and giving this a little bit of love because you will not regret it. So that was one of my March reads brought forward. So then I've kind of been a little bit like, what do I read in March? So one of my other intended March reads was Sword of the Saxons by Stephen A. Mackay. He's one half of the Rock Paper Swords podcast, and his last book in this trilogy, this is about Alfred the Great. I read the first book in this series, The Heathen Horde, at the end of last year and loved it. and now I'm reading the second one, and the last one in the trilogy, called The King of Wessex, has just been released, so I intend to buy that as well. I have some £10 voucher for Waterstones, so I intend to spend that on that. But yeah, so far I've started it. I am enjoying it, but I will let you know how that goes next month. And Alfred the Great is quite a big part of British history, so I've always wanted to read something about that. I've always kind of wanted to write something about that, so it's quite interesting reading someone's take on Alfred the Great. So because I think, based on how I'm sort of going through that, I'll probably finish that mid-March. I thought I'll have another fiction book to maybe go on to, and this will probably take me from March into April. And this is Empress of the Fall. This is a new author to me, David Hare, and this is the first book in the Sun Surge Quartet. I found this by accident in the library, and I started reading it, and I thought it sounded quite good. At the beginning, you've got like this, you've got the maps, the obligatory maps in a fantasy book, but you've also got like these tables that explain the magic system as well, and it kind of intrigued me. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And it sounds quite good as well, and I love that cover. That cover is just so cool. So yeah, I thought that sounded quite interesting. So I will let you know how that goes in April. And finally, the last book that was kind of inspired a little bit by the Dose Effect book that I read is this one, Indistractable by Nir Eyal. And it's all about how you can choose to control your own attention, and that's linked into an idea about phone fasting. And I've kind of been on this journey with my phone, whereby when I'm tired or when I've had a bad day or when I'm just feeling down, I end up scrolling, pointless. I want to kind of break that habit. So the Dose Effect has given me some tips on how to do that, and I'm working on that. But I also thought adding that to this would be an interesting, see what I can add from this to help me in that. This is not something that I'm going to read cover to cover, I don't think everything applies to me, but I'm definitely going to give dip in and out of it over the course of the next month as well. Again, this is another library book, so yeah, it's quite an interesting read. And I've listened to a podcast interview between Nir Eyal and Ali Abdaal, and what Nir has to say sounds quite interesting. So I thought, I'd give the book a go as well, see what I can pick up from reading his work. So yeah, they're my reads this month. Sword of the Saxons, Empress of the Fall, and Indistractable as well. So what are you reading this month? Let me know in the comments and we can have a chat. I can add some more books to my TBR. Hopefully these books that I've talked about today will give you some ideas to add some new books to your TBR as well. I'll be back next week with a brand new video. I'm also going away next week, so that'll be quite nice. I'm going to visit Framlingham Castle. I may do a little bit of filming, may not. I may just take the whole weekend off and just relax. Because what with Bellanotte turning my attention to the third book in the Viking series and everything, I just feel like my brain is ready for a bit of relaxation and rest and recuperation. So you will definitely get a video from me. I'll probably film that over this weekend and then schedule it for next weekend. But whether you'll get a vlog of, if you want to follow me, I'll probably post some pictures on Instagram at some point over next weekend if you want to see anything about Framlingham Castle or anywhere like that we could visit. So yeah, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'll leave the link over there down below as well. But until then, I will see you next week with a brand new video. Until then, have a great week. See you later. Bye.